You can change my name, sir, also, please, sir. I don't have.
Good evening. We're going to discuss about the vision therapy, binocular vision, amblyopia, and certain related issues which are very confusing these days with the advent of new technology and new methods of correcting the binocular vision defects. And we have very elegant panel, Dr. Shilpa, Mr. Vikas,
Hello.
and Mr. Nikhil.
Hello.
They are here. They're all
Hello.
highly specialized consultants at various places who will bring down the level of discussions to the level at which an ordinary person, maybe a parent, maybe an optometrist, maybe a general practitioner, a physician, or a pediatrician, or an ophthalmologist can understand. We're not going to discuss hi-fi, and we are going to have 5 sessions of similar episodes, and at the end of it we'll discuss last 2 sessions will be on purely clinical presentations. A child presents like this, what to do. So I'll request Dr. Shilpa to introduce herself because she's a very accomplished pediatrician, and I would like her to introduce herself. Dr. Shilpa.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Dr. Shilpa. I'm a pediatric ophthalmologist working in Kartik Nethralaya for the past 3 years. I am a pediatric ophthalmologist trained from LV Prasad, Hyderabad. And currently I am looking at the pediatric department in Kartik Nethralaya, and binocular vision and amblyopia, pediatric eye checkup. All these are routinely done in Kartik Nethralaya. We have a beautiful department of vision therapy as well in Kartik Nethralaya.
Thanks, Dr. Shilpa. You do a lot of surgeries
Thank
on
you.
children. We are aware of it. You're an excellent surgeon. And also you have a very good vision therapy department, which is rare in an eye clinic. Next will be Dr. Vikas Misra. He is a very accomplished therapist who is fascinated by this specialty. I know him for a long time, and he started up his career at Kartik Nethralaya, and he has grown up today, and he has got his own setup at Ahmedabad. And I would like Dr. Vikas to introduce himself to everyone.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, sir. That's the big introduction you have given for me already. I have started my career, and today, whatever I am and at what position, the credit I would like to give to you, sir. If you could have not met me, I could have not imagine my this career today. I have completed my diploma optometry from Lions Eye Hospital, and then I pursued to Bachelor Optometry with Chitkara University, Sankara College of Optometry, and I am Clinical Associate of College of Optometrists in Vision Development, and now I am running my private practice at Ahmedabad.
Very good. Nikhil is another budding optometrist. He has very special interest in vision therapy, binocular vision understanding, treatment of binocular vision anomalies, and he is currently working at Kartik Nethralaya and is heading as a consultant the vision therapy department. Nikhil, can you say a few words about yourselves?
Yeah, hi, good evening. I'm Nikhil D. I've completed my BSc Optometry in Vasana Institute, and I've completed my fellowship in binocular vision in Shankara. And I'm currently working as a consultant optometrist and vision therapist in Kartik Nethralaya.
Fine. Thank you all for participating and giving your valuable time to this program, which will definitely clear a lot of cobwebs that most of us have as specialists in our own fields. I'll start with Dr. Shilpa. Dr. Shilpa, can you define what is amblyopia and what is squint? Briefly, so that the lay people can understand.
Yeah. So amblyopia is basically a condition in which there is no organic problem in the eye. That means the eye is completely fine. So the problem is basically the between the brain-eye coordination. So there is no pathology in the eye as such, no retinal problem, no optic nerve problem. But the eye itself is not, the brain itself is not using the eye because of certain causes. It could be refractive error or anisometropia, wherein the brain starts using one eye dominatingly and the other eye starts getting suppressed. So in that, when this situation is there for a long time, the brain will start suppressing the weaker eye, and at a later age, the brain eye coordination will not develop. This is called as amblyopia, in which basically there is no pathology, but then the eye is still not seeing.
What you mean to say, there is no disease. When you examine the eye is perfectly normal. Every part of the eye is working very well, but still it is blind. It is not having
Yes.
good vision. That's what you meant.
Yeah.
What are the causes for the amblyopia? Why does a child has amblyopia? And does the child come and tell you that I have got poor vision in my right eye or my left eye? Does the child come and tell parents and teachers or yourself?
So basically, there are different types of amblyopia. It could be ametropic, it could be anisometropic, it could be strabismic. So based on the cause, we will find out if it is an ametropic amblyopia, wherein both the eyes have glass power, but the vision is not improving. Like it happens in astigmatism, high astigmatism in both eyes. The vision would be less. So you will find subtle signs that the kid is squeezing the eyes or going close to watch TV or something like that. If there is anisometropic amblyopia,
What
the
is
kid would be
anisometropia? Can you briefly tell what does it mean by anisometropia?
anisometropia means one eye has good eyesight and the other eye has a poor eyesight
Can you
because
give an
of
example? How do you know that a person
yeah. So
child
suppose let's say one eye has zero power,
zero
or
power?
let's say just 0.5 plus or 0.5 minus power. The other eye has a plus 3 power or like minus 4 power.
How
So
do you
what
know
will
a
happen? The
child
brain
of
will be using
okay child has got one eye is zero power. The child is seeing very well for distance, for near, for TV, for everything. Other eye has got
yes.
plus 3 or a minus 3. How does the parents
Yes.
understand this? The
So
child
what
may have
parents would see that the child is developing a head posture. So whichever eye is better eye, the child might tilt his head while looking at TV or anything which he is looking very keenly. He will have a head turn. Another feature would be whenever the kid is outdoor in bright light, he would be squeezing that eye. He would be shutting the poor eye, and he would be seeing with. So these two are very important features to the parent should identify it and immediately bring the kid for an eye checkup to rule out anisometropia and amblyopia.
okay.
The third one is easy, for the parents to diagnose, which is strabismic amblyopia. So the kid would be having constant squint in one eye, and which clearly itself, points out that the brain is not using that eye, and hence the eye has squinted. And definitely that eye would have a poor vision, which needs, further treatment. Apart from amblyopia treatment, the kid will also need squint surgery or refractive error correction, all those things.
Fine. What is the common age? At what age the children will have these problems? And does imagine a child does not squint or does not turn the face to see with one eye. If these two are not there, can I be rest assured that my child is all right?
No.
No.
So basically, kids are, you cannot rely on the kids, and every case is unique. So
how do
every
you
child
ensure?
will
How do you
present with different symptoms.
how do you ensure
So
that this is not happening to my child? That's what the mother is going to ask.
yeah, so we don't have a guideline as such, but then the American guideline says that every kid should get a eye checkup at 3 months, 1 year, and 6 years. In India, most of the schools have started, one preschool checkup around 3 or 4 years of age, which I think is very good. So at least the kids get screened around 3 or 4 years of age. But even before that, suppose there is a family history of any eye problem in parents, parents, mother, father, both are using glasses, they should ideally get their kids checked themselves without, even if the kid is not having any problem, they should go and get a eye checkup done.
Very, very good hint. I will summarize this. Every child has to get the eye tested at the age of 3 years, whether the problem is there or not. This is very important. And soon after birth also, the child has to, as you rightly said, child has to get the eyes tested. This is a part of the pediatrician would really organize this. There are a lot of diseases which can come up. And at the age of 3 years, whether child has problem or no problem or whatever it is, a routine eye checkup is a must. That's a very well taken point of Shilpa. Because we have been treating, once the child comes to a doctor, it's a doctor's responsibility to take care and ensure that everything is all right. A lot of tests the doctor is going to do in the clinic, and the belief was that by the age of 9 years, if there is a defect in the eye because of amblyopia, anisometropia, squint, whatever it is, it needs to be corrected at very young age, before 5 years, and the cutoff is 9 years. If the child comes after 9 years, nothing can be done. That's the thought that was existing all along. Now we know that Vikas and Nikhil and Shilpa have been trying to do a lot of new things. They are using newer gadgets, new methodology of diagnosis. Is there any update in this understanding? Mr. Vikas, can you enlighten on that? In very simple words, people like me can understand.
Sir, actually the common word what we use for this term is critical period. What doctors and optoms use the word is critical period. They used to say, oh, the critical period is gone, more than 8 years, more than 9 years or 10 years. Now the development is not possible. But the word critical period itself means, sir, if the period where you need an aggressive treatment, if the treatment is not done, then a legal blindness or nystagmus can happen. So the critical period, what is suggested by American Ophthalmic Society or American Optometric Association, is up to 3 months, sir.
Okay.
Where we say binocularity develops, where we say stereopsis develops, everything develops up to 3 months. If you suspect any amblyopic genic factor or strabismic factor, you need to treat that as soon as possible. If it is not treated, then a legal blindness or nystagmus or other things can develop. Now next comes susceptible periods, and then it comes to neuroplasticity. So there are different periods. So the word itself, critical period, means that you need to treat. It does not define that now it will not develop.
So Vikas, thank you for that. Earlier you diagnose, earlier you pick up these, it's better. Squint, yes, many people do not come to the clinic at all thinking that squint is a lucky sign or it will go away after the age of 8, 9, 10 years. But that's wrong, you say. Any squinting, any abnormality you see structurally on the eyes, the child has to be brought to the clinic. That's imperative. Not to the pediatric specialist, but to the eye specialist, especially who is trained in vision therapy, and like Shilpa or like Vikas, like Nikhil, who are trained in these things. If a child, imagine, there is ignorance. If a man comes at the age of 18 years, he says, I can't see in the right eye, sir, I have not done anything for it. What do you do for that? He has a squint and right eye squint, imagine, and right eye vision is not very good for various reasons, either because of squint or anisometropia or exonopsia, whatever it is. So how do you manage? Can you manage, or you say you have crossed the golden period, now you go home? That's what you want to say.
As stated by V.S. Ramchandran, sir, neuroplasticity is the fact that no one now denies. Everyone is easily understand nowadays that there is something called neuroplasticity, and brain can learn entire the age till we are alive. So that's the actual critical period from birth to the end.
Okay, so now you have changed your concept according to the modern thinking that at any age the patient can come. You have confidence that you are going to improve the vision. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
It is better in adulthood, actually, I would like to say, sir. Younger child does not understand what we want to, what task we give them. They does not understand much. If I have a patient 3-year-old, and if I have a patient anisometropic 18-year-old, I'll say 18-year-old will improve faster than 3-year-old.
Okay, that's something new. Fine. Nikhil, I would like to hear from you in the OPD of Kartik Nethralaya. You are the person who is going to see children initially before Dr. Shilpa sees. What are the symptoms or signs that you see in a child? The child may say something, mother can say something, or you may find something, symptoms and signs that you would think that this child needs special care. Can you just list quickly?
Actually, when a child comes, the parents might complain that a child is squeezing his eye while seeing at distance or near.
Okay. What does it indicate? Squeezing like this?
squeezing like this, it means it has some power, it has some problem with the seeing distance or near, or like if the child is going very much closer to do some near work, or to see something from the board, or sometimes the teachers may send a message to the parents that your child is not able to see, your child is not able to read it properly from the last bench. So such kind of what complaints we have received in Karthik Netralaya from the parents.
When you examine, what do you specifically look for? When you examine the child with your gadgets,
uh,
what do you look for? To
we
which will
usually
help
see
you in
the
diagnosing.
we usually observe the child first, how the child is walking, how is the head posture of the child, and is the child is able to open his eye wider and able to see all the things, and how is his judgment. And when we make a child sit on the
So
chair also, we can
you have a set questions, that you have, which you'll ask the parent and the child to diagnose better. Okay.
yeah.
And what are the tests you do? You check the vision. Is it possible to check the vision in a 2-year-old or 3-year-old child?
So if we can't do it, we can just see a retinoscopic glow, or the eye movements, or like we can do a Hirschberg test. We can
So
just
you
see
have
through
lot of
that.
tests which will help you in finding out the status of refractive error, how much power the child has,
Yes,
whether there is a
yes, yes,
difference in the power between the two eyes, whether there is a squint, whether
exactly.
it is a true squint or a false squint, and then you go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay, now I'll
yes.
ask Dr. Shilpa, if a child comes with a squint, like luckily instead of listening to his relatives, parents bring a patient with a squint, less than 9 years old, maybe 6, maybe 7, the child has a squint. How do you proceed, Dr. Shilpa?
Okay. So the complete eye checkup of any kid is very important, and history taking. First of all, you should ask history since when the parents started noticing the squint. If they have any old photographs, you should also go through those photographs to document exactly how much is the degree of squint. Whether sometimes the parents can't even say whether it is an ESO or an EXO, so we can verify that. Then any history of preterm birth, any history of trauma,
Family history.
family history of squint. Then we proceed with the eye checkup. So cycloplegic refraction is very important in any kid who is presenting
Cycloplegia
with
means
squint.
every child has to be, you will have to put drops and then
Drops,
examine the basic refractive error. So
yes.
many parents will say, don't put drops, don't do that, don't put atropine, exams are there. So the basic test is you'll have to find out what is the ground level of refractive error in this child. Okay,
Yeah.
imagine the
So
child has got a plus number and child has got a squint. How do you manage? Do you advise surgery directly or you will do something else?
So we need to see whether there is any refractive or accommodative component in any esotropia. So
Right.
what I mean with refractive and accommodative is if there is the squint because of the plus power. So
Okay.
any refractive component can be corrected using the plus glasses. So we prescribe plus glasses, and we call the kid for follow-up in 6 to 8 weeks. So if the squint is because of the plus power, which is usually more than +3 power, and if it is a refractive esotropia, it should come down with the squint. So that would be the first step.
Very good.
Second, if
The first thing is whenever you see a child with a squint, the first trial is not surgery. You are going to prescribe glasses based upon your findings. Patient may not be able to read the board, but still you have methods to examine the power and prescribe glasses, wearing glasses. And the first thing mother does is she starts crying, saying that, oh, such a small child should he wear glasses. So what's your answer for that? How do you console the mother?
So I just tell that now refractive error is, first of all, refractive error, having glasses is not a disease or something that she should be scared of.
Correct.
You know, almost 50% of population is wearing glasses, and in Southeast Asia, almost 90% kids are wearing glasses.
Fine.
So this is, I give her some data that how much is the refractive error problem. Another thing is if the vision is correctable to 6/6, I say it's something which is normal. When if the eyesight is absolutely fine, she should not worry about the glasses.
Fine. Okay.
So these two things I try to convince the mother, and then I show some pictures of kids wearing the glasses and how they are handling even a small kid wearing glasses, and that somehow soothes the mother, and she becomes less worried about the kid wearing the glasses.
Fine. Thank you. So, wearing glasses continuously, even on a birthday, from morning till night, without removing, the moment he gets up, he has to wear, and he has to sleep and then only remove it. And this is a must. Okay. And we always recommend them to buy two glasses because if one is broken, children break the glasses easily. So, go in and wear the next glasses immediately. And the glass frame should fit properly. People, take a
And there are special bands and the things to tie. The frame should fit properly. All those things are very important in a kid wearing the glasses.
Okay.
Proper fitting of the.
Because a child has a squint. Dr. Shilpa and Nikhil have prescribed glasses. The squinting guy has got poor vision, does not have full vision, poor vision. Okay, child's age is 6 years. What will you do?
Sir, it depends, totally depends on the type of squint. I will suggest that first the adaptation of the glasses, at least for 8 weeks, 2 months.
Okay, very good. 2 months.
This is my protocol.
Okay.
A child may need longer time to adapt because they will not wear for long time, even if we insist to the patients. That's the practical issue. So at least I would like to give 2 months time to adapt the glasses and see what happens to the vision. Most of the ametropic or anisometropic first time wearer glasses will improve visual acuity by at least 1 to 2 line automatically, no need to do anything.
I have a question here. A lot of people start patching the eye right from day one. 6-year-old boy comes with squint and one eye, and the child has got plus number. We have prescribed the glasses, and or minus number, maybe whatever it is. Do you start occlusion therapy immediately or little later? You wait for 2 months.
No, sir. The first treatment protocol is already guided, and that's the everywhere, manywhere it's guided and documented well that glass adaptation is must.
So you will not give patching, whatever may be the reason.
No.
2 months time.
Neither patching or not directly to vision therapy if a child is first time coming to my clinic.
Fine.
We'll have to wait for the glasses. If something is coming automatically without wasting any money and time, then why we should not get free? Indian nature is taking free.
Okay.
Oh, free mein mil raha hai.
Fine. Thank you.
Sometimes parents are quite educated and they understand that the kid is wearing, suppose it's a myopia minus number, we know that the kid will get easily adapted to the glasses. It's very difficult in a plus power. So it's okay if you are waiting in a plus power for around 6 to 8 weeks. In myopia, we know that the vision might improve with the glasses itself, and there might not be the need to give patching.
Okay.
But if there is also an associated squint, the squint will not go away. Squint itself means that the brain has started suppressing the eye, and the kid will need squint. In those cases, you may start patching sometimes, even from the first visit, if you are seeing the squint.
Thank you. We will conclude today's discussion, and we will continue it, how to proceed for a child who comes with a squint and amblyopia. Thank you very much for participating in this program.